Tyler Robinson's courtroom smirk turns Charlie Kirk hearing into a national flashpoint. Erika Kirk confronts the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk. Tyler Robinson's preliminary hearing has become more than a legal checkpoint. It has become the first public collision between the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk, the widow left behind, and the evidence prosecutors say ties Robinson to a rooftop shot at Utah Valley University. The image now driving public anger is Robinson appearing unmoved in court, with circulating clips and courtroom reactions focusing on moments where he appeared to smile or laugh while Erika Kirk sat nearby. That expression has no legal weight on its own, but politically and emotionally it has landed like an insult. A defendant accused in one of America's most explosive political killings facing the victim's family without visible remorse. What happened in court? The hearing in Provo is a preliminary hearing, meaning the judge is not deciding guilt. The question is whether prosecutors have presented enough evidence for the case to move toward trial on aggravated murder and related charges. Robinson has not entered a plea, and he remains presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Prosecutors presented surveillance footage and investigator testimony alleging Robinson moved around Utah Valley University before the shooting, changed clothes, climbed onto a rooftop, and left after the fatal shot. Investigators also described evidence they say connects Robinson to the scene, including a rifle, a towel, DNA evidence, and alleged messages sent after the shooting. The defense pushed back hard, especially on DNA evidence. That matters because this hearing is not just theater for the public. It is where the defense begins testing whether the prosecution's strongest evidence is as clean as it appears. If the judge finds probable cause, the case moves forward. If the defense can weaken the reliability of key evidence now, it may shape the trial long before a jury hears the case. Why the courtroom reaction matters. Robinson's apparent courtroom demeanor has become its own story because this is not a normal murder case. Charlie Kirk was killed while speaking at a public political event, and prosecutors have alleged a victim targeting enhancement tied to Kirk's political expression. The formal charging document says Robinson is accused of intentionally selecting Kirk because of Robinson's belief or perception regarding Kirk's political expression. That turns every visible moment in court into symbolism. A smile, a laugh, a blank stare, or a lack of reaction can become evidence in the public mind, even when it is not evidence in law. For Erika Kirk, the hearing forces grief into a courtroom format: testimony, video, legal argument, objections, and the accused sitting only feet away. The disrespect people are reacting to is not simply the alleged expression. It is the contrast. Erika Kirk is attending proceedings about the public killing of her husband, while Robinson is fighting charges that could determine whether he ever leaves prison alive. His likely sentence, if found guilty. If Robinson is convicted of aggravated murder, the sentence exposure is severe. Utah County charging documents state that aggravated murder may carry the death penalty, life in prison without parole, or an indeterminate sentence of at least 25 years to life. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, so capital punishment remains a live possibility if the case reaches that stage and Robinson is convicted. The other charges also matter. The official information lists counts including felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and a violence offense committed in the presence of a child. Prosecutors allege the shooting exposed others to danger and that children were present at the event. The most likely sentencing outcome, if convicted on the central aggravated murder charge, is therefore not a short prison term. It is either death, life without parole, or a decades-long life sentence. The precise outcome would depend on trial findings, aggravating factors, mitigation, jury decisions in any penalty phase, and rulings from the judge. Erika Kirk's life since the crime. Erika Kirk's life has been transformed from wife and mother into widow, public mourner, institutional leader, and symbol for a grieving conservative movement. After Charlie Kirk's death, Turning Point USA announced that its board had unanimously elected Erika Kirk as CEO and chair of the board, placing her in charge of the organization her husband founded. She has also taken a publicly religious posture toward the killing. At Charlie Kirk's memorial, she said she forgave the man responsible, framing that forgiveness through Christian faith rather than legal strategy. That created a striking contrast with the criminal case, personal forgiveness on one side, a death penalty prosecution on the other. Her presence in court now shows the second phase of life, after the crime. The memorial stage was about grief, faith, legacy, and public mourning. The courtroom stage is colder. It is about evidence, cross-examination, forensic disputes, video footage, and the slow machinery of a capital case. What happens next? The immediate next step is whether the judge decides there is enough evidence for Robinson to stand trial. Prosecutors want the case to proceed on aggravated murder and related charges. The defense is already signaling that it will attack the strength, handling, and interpretation of the evidence. The deeper issue is that this case now sits at the intersection of criminal law, political violence, public grief, and movement leadership. Robinson's courtroom behavior may dominate clips online, but the trial will turn on evidence. For Erika Kirk, the outcome will not undo the killing. It will decide whether the state can prove in court the story it has now begun to lay out in public.